I'd now like to welcome Jeremy Drew, who is Director of Newland Homes. I've just been hearing a lot about Newland Homes. Excited to hear this.
Hi. Hello. I want to just give a little bit of this resi developer's perspective. I've written something, so it'll feel a little more stilted than the previous guys speaking, but bear with me. The volume housing industry is a slow battleship to change course and has a simple outlook. To my shame, in common with many others, I shared a whoop of delight in 2014 when Code for Sustainable Homes was abandoned. We mostly all dutifully danced our paymaster's tune of Code 7 can't be done, too difficult, too expensive. And then we subsequently watched the recovery-fueled profits of PLC Inc., and us, I suppose. And I recently thought we could have done zero carbon, you know, if the industry and politicians hadn't bottled it. Climate emergency awareness, though, has transformed, but the industry that delivers our 200,000 about homes annually is still slow. We're seemingly awash with future intentions. I'm talking about the resi development industry. The industry tools up with sustainability officers, research documents, SEG reports. Anything to save having to do something now? Newland Homes has built a great reputation over 30 years, doing a good job designing and building homes that fit in, adding to communities and making a profit. And we're rightly proud of all this. We build 200 plus homes a year across the southwest, mostly in masonry, on varied sites from 100 to 10 units. Our turnover this year will be around £93 million. For me, like many others in our first world comfort, on the 18th of April 2019, watching that David Attenborough documentary with my mum, all that stopped seeming quite enough. So on the 15th of May, on a high of possibilities, I convened Newland Homes' inaugural Climate Change Working Party meeting. Primarily, I was suggesting we stop using gas, but I remember totally on board when the rest of the industry is too. We just can't go committing ourselves to extra costs. Oh, gas boilers are quite efficient. Oh, PLCs will just lobby the government to drop the idea of banning gas boilers. Now, we're a nice company. So getting up from that bruising, better realising the task ahead, I cobbled together some action points. Our MD was also getting daughter pressure to green up. Many of us are. Realising the reducing cost of solar, we agreed that despite the virtual absence, regrettably, of any carbon-reducing regulations, we put 8 solar panels on every detached house. The differentiation against competitors was a nice to have, and some positive PR was nice. Now, in the volume industry, the received wisdom is that zero carbon housing are one-offs, architect designs, left field constructions. Hearing an article about improving solar panel efficiency, I asked our head of tech if we had air source heat pumps with as much high-spec solar as would fit on our roofs, what extra bells, whistles, or serious changes would we need to have a net zero carbon energy house? Theoretical, I thought, but helpful. Now, to my great surprise, was that with our decent thermal spec, there was little else needed. So, with a premium site just coming through planning, I put to our working party that we could offer some zero-carbon homes, and our MD, whose view was changing, gave it his full backing. Working with that sort of traction, with some analysis on how scalable the model was in terms of smaller house types, housing association types, the company mindset changed. Marketing grasped the opportunities. And with some encouragement, we moved, hop, skip, and jump to all our forthcoming sites being zero carbon. And suddenly had 500 net carbon homes in our pipeline. Big practical issues like mains electricity capacity, three-phase supply, component supply agreements were to be solved, rather than roadblocks. We added car charging points, underfloor heating, surprisingly cost-effective, then mindful that solar delivers when demand is low, and renewable heat incentive income will be modest. We're giving all our customers the ability to add a battery to enable really efficient power management. Our mentioned cost, we're probably over £10,000 extra per plot, hard to justify, but whilst few others are doing this, we believe there'll be a sales premium. Now the affordable sector are super keen and willing to pay us towards it. Despite many land bids with a big zero carbon abnormal cost and land prices soaring, the temptation to buckle has been resisted, and we now have some agents and landowners selecting us because of our approach. Having net carbon, zero carbon products already on 3 sites in build, that's Tickenham, Chapmanslade and Sennington, with sales centres from January 22 onwards, we see ourselves and project ourselves differently. Alarming climate realities have also made us realise this is just part of the journey. We're starting to review embodied carbon in our products, our supply chain, our large car fleet, which we're now transforming to electric. Indeed, our offices and our sales and site offices are exploring renewable options. Without declaring a net zero target, we may get there surprisingly quickly. Some criticise it's not Passive House, SIPs or MMC, and to that I say, had we taken that view, we'd probably not have gained the traction we have by a step change over just 2 years. And secondly, our EPC A-rated product is in the top 1% of all new homes delivered by the industry and doesn't burn fossil fuel. We signed the UN Carbon Neutral Now pledge. We report our carbon generation, have active plans to reduce it, and are commencing offsetting to verified schemes. We're steadily moving to a position where every decision by whichever member of staff has climate considerate as a component of it. We're all bought into our environment strategy, which is a collection of actions, not future promises. We still feel the need to make a profit and accept we're only a small way along our journey that requires supply chain, manufacturers, regulators, contractors to be on side. But we can now start making clear our expectations. The thing I want from COP26, don't bottle it, commit. There's never been a stronger public willingness for change. It'll not be universal, but show leadership. The housing industry can respond to tough regulations that ensue. We demonstrate that. Make the future home standard bold and don't delay it. Bring it on. From Newland Homes' experience, dialogue is hard work. But when key people become advocates, the wall crumbles. Move forward with a plan, and it's amazing the ground that can be covered. Thank you so much.